Dark Ages Revelations has just been revealed, and it is insane. The long-awaited giant DLC expansion is finally here. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, I was jumping in my chair like a little kid when I was watching the trailer. It is so cool and so brutal, and it's so much more than I ever imagined this DLC would be, right? Even though I had high expectations, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, after this video, you guys are gonna realize why you're literally not ready for this DLC. That's how good it is. I have so much to talk about, so let's go through all the most interesting stuff in the trailer together. Oh, and make sure to stay until the end because I will show you guys huge details that you probably missed, and I'll give you my thoughts and theories that I honestly think everyone missed in this trailer. And they're so interesting too, but I just haven't seen anyone really talk about them yet. Oh, just quickly, if you guys are excited for this giant upcoming DLC, subscribe to the channel and like this video because I will be releasing so much interesting content with the DLC in the coming weeks. Months. Thanks, and let's get back to the video. Okay, so let's go over all the highlights and the most interesting parts of this trailer. First of all, we can hear the Gunmaker's voice as she's telling us that the Doomslayer has become a figure that the Sentinels now follow after the events of the Dark Ages basically. And then we get this absolutely ridiculous shot of a hellish arena of some kind. And I'm gonna be honest, I cried a little at shots like these. The production quality in this DLC expansion is literally insane. And with this shot, we finally get our first look at the Hell's High Council. And this is where something extremely hype happens. And we just started with the trailer, guys, so you have to remember. One of the council members says, the council has chosen. Beneath this chamber will be your tomb. And then we see them summoning some kind of an overpowered hellish abomination. Here's what I think is gonna happen. This overpowered demon that the council summons is actually going to defeat the Slayer. Yes, for the first time ever, the Doomslayer is going to lose a fair one-on-one fight. I don't know if you guys realize how ridiculous this is, but this is so high. But like, what is actually happening, right? The Hell's High Council is literally gatekeeping the most insane and overpowered demon ever made, it seems. He stomps the Slayer right into the ground in the trailer. This happens right here. And after this happens, he falls to the deepest pits of hell, where he begins his story of ascension and rebirth. I think this is the whole point of this DLC, actually. We will see how the Slayer actually became the Doomslayer, the legendary figure that he is. After being betrayed and thrown to the rock bottom, he will ascend through the different parts of hell, and when he emerges again, he will be stronger than ever before. And I think we're gonna face this same overpowered demon at the end of the DLC as a final boss. That's my prediction. Moving on to the next extremely hyped detail, we see the never before seen frozen part of hell, and a mysterious voice guiding and helping the Slayer, who I believe is the wretch who ultimately forged the legendary Breaking Suit. And then we see the new melee weapon, the Spear. I am so ridiculously hyped for this weapon. Have you guys seen this thing? You can parry it, you can throw it, you can slash fodder demons in a brutal and satisfying way. You can pierce forward with it, and you can even pierce the super heavy demons with it, it seems. But that's just the beginning, because it looks like we're getting insane new mobility mechanics in Revelations 2, which all seem to be connected to the Spear. In the trailer, we can clearly see that we're getting a dashing ability, which gives us so many movement options and honestly changes the Dark Ages combat formula completely. But we're also getting the grappling hook or meat hook mechanic from Doom Eternal back. That's right, guys. Flying around the map with the meat hook and dashing from Doom Eternal are back into the Dark Ages. This is a little bit crazy. And I think that we can see here that the meat hook mechanic, which allows incredible vertical movement, by the way, is also connected to the spear. I'm just gonna call this the spear of freedom. It is so insane to me just how much height the spear is able to reach this, considering that this is the Dark Ages. I can't wait to master this mechanic. I know I said that we're pretty much getting the insanity of Jones' movement back in Dark Ages, and that's completely true. But I haven't told you guys the most important thing. We're actually going beyond the Dark That's right. It seems that the Revelations DLC will take Eternal's movement and make it even better, even more perfect. And I honestly didn't think that this was even possible. And that is because we're getting the spear ground slam mechanic. We can clearly see it in this clip from the trailer. So, not only can you dash and fly into the air, but you can also slam down from the heights into the ground with overwhelming weight and force in true Doom the Dark Ages fashion. This mechanic truly shows that they took the insanity of Eternal's movement and put it right into the Dark Ages. I can't wait to put my hands in this insane new weapon. Next, we see the brand new demons. And they include some returning favorites like the Archon and the Pain Elemental, who's been twisted and changed by the Cosmic Realm, which I think is so cool. But we can also see some brand new demons like this one over here, which has a shield and a dangerous attack pattern, it seems, that is definitely going to require some dashing around, exactly like it was shown in the trailer. And then we also see a human character who appears to be attacking the Slayer with dual swords, and this appears to be a boss fight. Now, here's what I think is happening here, and this is huge, guys. I think that this character that we see right here is definitely Marok, Valen's son. So my theory is that after Marok was killed in battle, right, the Makers promised to resurrect him and made a deal with Valen in return for some valuable information. Now, this ties to the lore of the Sentinel Civil War that Revelations will also be covering, it seems. And then, the Makers really do bring Marok back to life, but not exactly how Valen expects. I think that the Makers will use the Divinity Machine process on Marok, just like they did on Slayer. They will try to make the Doom Slayer 2.0 out of Marok, and they will give him the same power and speed that they did to Slayer. And it will be up to us to defeat him in this epic boss fight. And then, obviously, later on in Doom Eternal, he becomes the Icon of Sin. But yeah, I think that this boss fight with post Divinity Machine Marok is going to be extremely dramatic and Hollywood. It's probably going to be a real challenge too. Now, there's one more really exciting thing that we can see in the trailer, and that is the OG Doom level remix. It seems to me that the original Doom levels are going to be remade and actually incorporated into the story, which is so cool. And what I mean by this is, the Slayer will obviously be ascending from the pits of hell to reach his new rebirth and new levels of power, right? But in order to do this, he will also be forced to confront his brutal past. And that is where the OG levels come in. During these flashbacks, we will be playing in the original Doom's levels. How cool is that? And this is further supported by the fact that at the end of the trailer, we see the Doomslayer's memories of the past. And in actually a shocking twist, his wife, his family from the past for just a second. And at this point in the trailer, someone also shouts out the Doomslayer's real human name. Yes, this all happens. I was literally left speechless when this happened. I did not expect this level of hype at all. But I should have. I knew that its software is cooking, right? I just didn't know that they were cooking this hard. And this leads me to possibly the most interesting part of this trailer that I wanted to mention. We were all speculating that this DLC will involve the Doomslayer hunting down the Council of Archdemons, right? The Order of Six, as they're called. At the end of the Dark Ages base game, he locked himself in hell. We were all going to be hyped for what comes next in the DLC. Going through different parts of hell and hunting down the Hell's High Council would have been a perfectly exciting and hype DLC expansion, right? But have you guys noticed something? They did not stop at this. They went further beyond with the storyline of this expansion. This expansion could have easily revolved around just hunting down the Order of Six Archdemons, but instead, the main story of Revelations seems to be the Doomslayer confronting his past. He will be plunged to the rock bottom of hell. He will have to fight his way up and ascend and just find new power. Instead of him just instantly defeating everything in his path like he usually does, we will see him fall, struggle, and ultimately be reborn with a new power. And we will see how the Doomslayer earned his Slayer name. This is so much better than what I expected and better than else they could have done with this expansion, honestly. I'm so excited for this. I can barely put it into words. But yeah, guys, this video was a quick overview of the trailer and just some interesting thoughts and theories I had on it. Do the Dark Ages Revelations releases exactly a month from now on July 7th. And you guys can expect a lot of content from me during this month-long waiting period. And
Um, well, that's you. searching for her son, but the chase had already taken everyone. When it comes to high-profile criminals, GSPD was violent and showed absolutely zero mercy to suspects. The exact reason behind this terrifying home invasion might have gone to the grave of the attacker, but the morning of pure chaos kicked off when an armed man forced his way into a Reedsville, Georgia residence. He dragged the hostage out of the house and peeled away. The victim's desperate family immediately jumped into their own car and began chase. Back down wildly through dead after down the road. Local police and Georgia State Patrol finally intercepted the rolling chaos and calling a life or death pursuit. Desperate kidnapper began wildly swerving through police cruisers, actively trying to ram officers' cars. But the chase went from dangerous to deadly. The suspect leaned out and fired directly at the pursuing GSP. Around hats off to that trooper for saving the fight while under fire and being grazed in the head by the suspect's bullet. This trooper had balls.
Oh, hell no. Okay, you have your vehicle all the way around. You'd be like, yeah. You still have your driver's license? Yeah. Oh, I mean, you have your driver's license, right? Yeah. You have your own vehicle, right? Yes. And here's your answer. This part of your I don't have my keys. Yeah, my ear, bitch. Here's your extras. Here's your extra spare keys. Oh. You don't think I'm stupid or something? Hmm.
second grade at the hospital managed to break through the spring away. The eviction climbed out of the crossfire officers from 6 different jurisdictions unleashed a massive volley, stopping enemy noise immediately. It was flown from Savannah Hospital and succumbed to its injuries, ensuring that terrifying times were becoming unmanageable. On January 8, 2021, Savannah police tried stopping 27-year-old Antoine Scott, the wanted felon from Black Fort F. He hit his lights, ran red lights, and drove so reckless that the SPD had called Georgia State Patrol for backup. When the GSP shows up, there's no way out. At high speed, the truck slid off the shoulder, carrying the slain.
You mean crazy bitch, you here. Yes, nothing but trash.
On March 27, 2022, GSP controlled the interstate winner and Brady Bank word inside driver living it up.
You do realize they would just shoot you then. Ooh. Uh-oh. Brown. Okay, so this should we agree with that? I think so, sure.
Violently inspired when the sergeant spotted the right window strike, closing the gap through the chaotic downtown grid with a devastating precision hit. The single hit sent the vehicle spinning out of control, slamming into the vehicle's